I'm extremely honored to be your keynote speaker. Many of you wonder why. Simply a middle school debate day boy. But to me, it is so much more. It is a celebration of your wins and your losses and the things you have yet to accomplish and the things you have yet to imagine you are capable of doing. In this room, it sits the future of the city of Newark. Unlike many other middle schools across the nation, you all have an extreme opportunity to debate. This is unfortunate considering that I got the chance to witness the capabilities of these middle schoolers in this room. I was beyond impressed. Not only were y'all smart and passionate, but y'all are motivated.
Hi, my name is Marcia Brown, and I am the Vice Chancellor for External and Governmental Relations at the great Rutgers University in Newark. And I'm excited to talk about our great collegiate debate team. It's approximately 6 to 7 years old, and it's done phenomenal things in its journey.
Hello, and welcome to the Newark Debater. My name is Heaven, and I will be your alumni host for today. Speaking of our organization, it has come to our attention that not much is truly known about our history. Over the course of the next couple of episodes, we will take you into a closer look of the fundamental building blocks that ultimately led to the development of the Newark Debater Academy. But first, let's take it way back. What is the Newark Debate Academy? Who are we? The Newark Debate Academy, formerly known as Jersey's Urban Debate League, was established through a grant from George Soros. Open society institution, and it operates in a partnership with Focus Incorporation. The cities involved in the league contain well over 30 schools serving predominantly African American and Latino students. We offer training for students and coaches, logisticals, and financial support for the teams, and monthly local debate tournaments. NDA began its operation originally right here at Science Park High School in 1978. During the ensuing 24 years, Science High, amongst numerous other schools, Central High School, University, Technology, Eastside, have experienced strong competitive success on the state, regional, and national debate circuits. How it helps. The preparation and delivery of debate arguments provides students with the opportunity to think critically, develop their academic research skills, and improve their communication and leadership abilities. They even solve problems creatively and increase their self-confidence. Because students involved in debate regularly engage in writing, information analysis, and in-depth library and internet research, debate students often receive higher grades than non-debaters in high school and more likely to continue on to post-secondary education. Debate enables students to present their views effectively and respond to arguments of those who disagree with them. In a time when youth violence is of increasing concern to all, debate teaches students to command attention with their words and alternate outlets for day-to-day conflicts, and gives them the tool with which they can combat physical aggression. As I take you on this detour, let's zoom in a little more on George Soros. George Soros is one of the world's foremost philanthropist. He has given away more than $32 billion of his personal fortune to fund the Open Society Foundations. The foundations has also provided schools and university fees for thousands of promising students who would otherwise have been excluded from opportunities because of their identity and or where they live. Soros has experienced such intolerance firsthand. Born in Hungary in 1930, he lived through the Nazi occupation 1944 through 1945. His own Jewish family survived by securing false identity papers, concealing their backgrounds, and helping others do the same. Soros later recalled that instead of submitting to our fate, we resisted an evil force that was much stronger than we are. Yet, we prevailed. Not only did we survive, but we managed to help others. As the communists consolidated power in Hungary after the war, Soros left Budapest in 1947 for London, working part-time as a railway porter, as a nightclub waiter to support his studies at the London School of Economics. In 1956, he immigrated to the United States, entering the world of finance and investments, which he was to make his fortune.
This man made more than $1 billion last year in a single week. That's right, a single week.
That bet has been available for the last 10 years, and it only paid off at that particular moment.
Then he spent the next few months giving it away, sometimes $100 million at a time.
George has always said that he makes his money in the West and spends it in the East.
Meet George Soros and find out what drives one of the world's most successful investors.
This program is made possible by a grant from MetLife, with over 120 years' experience in financial management.
Well, it sounds certainly it sounds something that one needs to look into.
George Soros is a man of many paradoxes. He's a world-class speculator who sounds and writes like an Oxford philosophy professor. He certainly doesn't sound like a Wall Street fund manager. Last year, he gave away more than $100 million in Russia, yet he thinks it may be too late to stop Russia from sliding into chaos.
He's an expert in Soviet minorities.
I spoke with George Soros last fall after his great currency coup when he made $1 billion almost overnight. But the more I heard about his recent philanthropy, the more I wanted to talk to him again. I wanted to find out what kind of man would stake more than his entire fortune against the Bank of England and then give away so much of the winnings. They call it Black Wednesday, the day that currency speculators broke the Bank of England. The bank and British taxpayers lost £6 billion. The bank got caught in a financial tug-of-war. Britain was in a deep recession and needed to lower interest rates to turn the economy around, but British interest rates and exchange rates were locked into the high rates of Germany and the European community. Something had to give. Soros acted. He borrowed pounds, converted them to other currencies, and waited. When the pound finally did fall, Soros paid back his loans, but because pounds were cheaper, it cost him less to repay his debts, and he pocketed the difference. 1.5 times that. That's really called betting the ranch.
Well, no, actually, in terms of the risks we take, it wasn't. It wasn't even a full exposure, because the risk of loss was maybe 2.5%. So if 1.5 times 2.5% would be, let's say, 4% loss, it wouldn't have killed us.
So that really was a fabulous one-way bet.
That was. It was a safe bet, but it's a question whether it was worth making it. That bet has been available for the last 10 years, and it only paid off at that particular moment.
Early 2000s, he became a vocal backer of same-sex marriage efforts. Though his causes evolved over time, they continue to hew closely to his ideals of an open society.
What's the difference between philanthropy and political activism? Well, there's none if your name is George Soros. He's stepping up his efforts politically to back every leftist in the country and to work as hard as he can against President Trump and his agenda. The left-wing billionaire transferring $18 billion to his Open Society Foundation. That makes it the second largest foundation in the country.
His giving has reached beyond his foundation, supporting independent organizations such as Global Witness, the International Crisis Group, the European Council on Foreign Relations, and the Institute for New Economic Thinking. Now, in the 80s, Soros continued to take an active personal interest in the Open Society's foundation work, traveling widely to support their work and advocating for positive policy changes with world leaders both publicly and privately. Wow, he sure did a lot. Thanks, George Soros. As for our viewers, we hope you've learned something new today. And now, back to our show.
Think about, do you meet certain requirements for funding, whether or not you've achieved your mission as an organization, organizational growth, development, and so a lot of the behind the scenes that you don't see when people debate and when people are competing is a large part of what's my job now, versus when I was a coach, I was more on the front scenes, at the tournaments, coaching the students, but now I think it's more based on what I do behind the scenes. I still coach, but that's in addition to everything else that I do.
Yes, I completely understand that. So now that we know that you're behind the scenes, we're all wondering, what is in store for the Newark Debate Academy?
So there's a ton of things in store. One thing that I really want to emphasize is online presence. So as part of the show, we're really making a push towards an increased online presence, both in terms of our website and social media, to try to promote a lot of the awesome programs that we have at the Newark Debate Academy. Because I think we have great programs that a lot of people just don't know about.
Yes, I totally understand that. So, remember last episode was all about our founder. Our last episode was all...
It's okay.
Our last episode was all about...
It's alright, take a second.
Carlo, did you look at me like...
I wasn't even looking at you.
Okay.
Alright, ready? Quiet. 3,
2.
Our last episode, if you remember, was all about our founder, Brent Ferrand. What is your fondest or first memory of the famous Brent Ferrand?
So I have a few actually, but the one I'll share.
I go. I go. I go. I go. I'm really waiting for science to say something. I go. Thank you.